And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Probably no boys and girls watching this. Probably no ladies too. Probably just gentlemen. I can actually check the analytics on that. I think it's like 0.9% of my viewers are women. So that's a shame. Let's get more ladies watching this. This is an equal opportunities channel. We are all about the egalitarianism here, and I would love it if you would share this video with some of your female friends so they could come and enjoy the wonderful album. The wonderful album that is Ozzy Osbourne's Bark at the Moon. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's try that again. Let's try that one more time. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Levi Clay, and I am here for your oral and visual pleasure this evening, doing a little live stream. We will be doing a live listening party to Ozzy Osbourne's Bark at the Moon, the full album. So in the description to this video, I have posted a link to the album on Spotify. I'll give you plenty of time to get that queued up. We will queue that up together. We will hit play, and I will talk. I will listen, and I will talk. So make sure my desktop audio is down so you won't hear it on my Spotify. Don't want to stream Ozzy's album to you. That would be outrageously illegal. But my commentary along with the album, well, people seem to have been enjoying those. And you know what? I've really enjoyed doing them. Because I think it puts you in this position where you really start listening to things incredibly critically because you're looking for things to say. Now, I've listened to this album 100 times in my life. I love this record. Really love this record. Sometimes I even think this is my favourite Ozzy album. So, yeah, fun one. Anyway, let me do my usual plug thing. Big thank you to my supporters over on Patreon. I just have updated that list, so we've got some new names on there. Thank you very much for your support. It is all very much appreciated. And if you'd like to check me out on Patreon, there is a link in the description. Or you can also support me as a YouTube VIP now, which is a lot of very cool. You get a little badge next to your name here on YouTube when you do that. If you would like to be a YouTube VIP, there is a join button that's just underneath this video next to the subscribe button. You can check that out. Both of those give you access to my private Facebook group. It's a lot of fun. And if none of those appeal, of course, you can support me on Amazon by checking out one of my books. Have a look. Search for Levi Clay. I'm sure you will find some of my work there. I have a lot of it. And I'm going to say most notably my latest one, 100 Slide Licks for Blues Guitar. So do go check that out. Though, of course, we won't really be talking about slide guitar this evening. So, yeah. And this stream is also brought to you by my friend. I can't speak this evening. This stream is also brought to you by my friends over at VPix. So head on over to vpix.com. Check out Vinny's work. I've been using VPix for about 10 years now. I absolutely love the product. And that's not there because I'm being paid to have that there. That's there because I love the work that Vinny does. And I know it helps him out a little bit, spreading that brand awareness. So I'm more than happy to do that for a good guy and a good company. Check out what they're doing. They make great products. Right, let's see who's in that comment section. We will say hello to you people, and then we'll start thinking about getting on with listening to this album. So, the Mojo Man. Ha 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 ha, Bark at the Moon. Yep, classic. That is one of the songs on Bark at the Moon. I will confirm that. Richard Henry, how's it going? Richard, good to see you, man. Yeah, people will have seen Richard's name on that Patreon list. So, Richard, one of my supporters over on Patreon. Of course, that is a pretty. Nick Harrison, how's it going, man? Long time no speak. Diego Guitarist and Ross is online. How's it going? So, yeah, I think we all know where this is going, where this live stream concept is going, right? I did the listening party of Blizzard of Oz. Then I did a listening party of Diary of a Madman. Well, then I've done Bark at the Moon. So what's going to happen next? You can expect at some point in the next week I'm going to be back to do The Ultimate Sin. You can expect I'm going to come back and do No Rest for the Wicked. You can expect me to come back and do No More Tears. You can expect me to come back and do Osmosis. You can expect me to come back and do Down to Earth. You can expect me to come back and do Black Rain. You can expect me to come back and do Scream. And I've already done Ordinary Man, and I'd rather not have to listen to that one again. I've got some information about this album, and we'll talk about it. With coronavirus spreading like wildfire, let's all stay and watch a live stream. That's a really good idea. Really good idea. My wife is away for the evening, so I'm going to be doing this stream, and then I might get myself some food, sit in and play a little bit of PlayStation. But I've got new guitar solos that I need to upload. I've got a new collaboration video with Jake over at Signals Music Theory. Got to get that downloaded and get that queued up so we can work on that going live. Sunday, I think that's going live. Obviously, wanted to do this stream, a little bit of transcribing to do. I haven't given you guys all the updates, everything that's going on. I mentioned this in the new Guitar Source podcast. So some of you may remember my wife was in a car accident about a month ago. So she's been driving my car in the interim, and she had another car accident. Someone drove into the back of her and smashed my car up. So I've been dealing with that, which has been stressful to say the least. Been down to A&E with her today, accident and emergency, and we sat in there for a few hours because she needed some X-rays on her back because the poor girl, she's had it rough. No, I refuse to agree with that. There are some good moments after Osmosis. There are a couple of good moments on Down to Earth. There are some good songs on Down to Earth. It's not Ozzy's best stuff, but there are definitely some good moments on there. Black Rain has at least one good song on it. The Almighty Dollar is a good song. Scream has a couple of good moments on it. Ordinary Man, no thank you. Woo! You'll also notice that noise gate is still kicking in. That noise gate is still working. So right, I'm going to talk to you, give you guys an opportunity to get this album queued up. Again, if you've just tuned in, I have a link in the description of this video where you can find Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne on Spotify. Get that loaded up for yourself. Just occurred to me I should double check my... get that loaded up for yourself. Get ready. We will press play on that at some point, and when we do, I would love it if we were listening at the same parts. B Augmented says Jake E. Lee is his favourite guitarist, which is awesome. Jake's a great player. So let's read this. Bark at the Moon is the third studio album by British heavy metal vocalist Ozzy Osbourne, originally released on the 9th of December 1983. A commercial success, Bark at the Moon peaked at number 19 on the Billboard album charts, and within several weeks of release was certified gold with over 500,000 sales in the United States. To date, it sold over 3 million copies in the US. In the UK, it was the third of 4 Osbourne albums to attain silver certification, which is 60,000 albums sold by the British phonographic industry, achieving this in January of 1984. The album was remastered on CD in 1995, and again with a different mix in 2002. This is Osbourne's first album. That makes no sense. This is Osbourne's first album to feature guitarist Jake E. Lee and only studio album to feature drummer Tommy Aldridge. Read some of these comments. Those albums were excuses to go on tour. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Because I don't think Ozzy needs an album to go on tour. Ozzy doesn't need an album to go on tour. I think it's the opposite. Hello, Benjamin. How's it going? Do I like Zakk Wylde's solo albums? Loved his first one. Do you mean literally ones that he's billed under Zakk Wylde? So the Book of Shadows and Book of Shadows 2. Yeah, Book of Shadows is pretty cool. I only listened to Book of Shadows 2 once. I love Black Label Society. Love Black Labels. Absolutely love Black Labels. If you, sorry, man, sorry. Well, there's no reason that you can't sit and watch it on your smartphone and then put Bark at the Moon on from another source. It doesn't need to be on your phone. Right, let's take a look at the overview. Right, Bark at the Moon is the only Ozzy Osbourne album on which the songwriting is credited entirely to Osbourne. Wow. However, guitarist Jake E. Lee maintains that he composed a significant amount of the album's music, but was cheated out of his writing and publishing claims by Osbourne's wife and manager Sharon. Shock fucking horror. Lee claims that after he had composed the songs and completed recording his parts in the studio, he was presented with a contract which stated he would have no claim to any writing or publishing relating to the album. The contract also stated that Lee could not mention this publicly. Lee claims he signed the contract because he had no legal representation and because Sharon threatened to fire him and have another guitarist re-record his parts if he refused. Again, absolutely dreadful, but it does sound like the exact type of thing that Sharon Osbourne would do. When we look at the previous 2 albums, both Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley were fired from that band for this exact thing, for wanting their fair share of credit. So it doesn't surprise me for 1 second that Sharon went in and wanted to take all the publishing on this album on behalf of Ozzy. Not surprised in the slightest. Anyway, Osbourne himself admitted several years later in liner notes to The Ozman Cometh that Lee had been involved in the album's writing to at least some degree, stating that the album's title track was in fact co-written by the guitarist. Osbourne's bassist at the time, Bob Daisley, has mirrored Lee's account of the album's production, stating that he co-wrote most of the music with Lee and wrote the vast majority of the lyrics. Daisley had stated that he accepted a buyout from Osbourne in exchange for a writing credit. Osbourne's former drummer, Lee Kerslake, who played with Daisley in Uriah Heep after leaving Osbourne's band, stated that Daisley had been hired by Sharon Osbourne to write Bark at the Moon for $50,000 or $60,000. He was offered the chance to write with Ozzy, words, music, write the album. We know from a long history of Ozzy Osbourne, right? This man has no musical talent, right? He didn't write any of his lyrics in Black Sabbath. They were written by the other members of the band. He doesn't play any musical instruments. The idea that all the lyrics and music was created by Ozzy Osbourne is ridiculous. Anyway, some European pressings identified the track Centre of Eternity as Forever. On tours for the album, Osbourne referred to it as Forever. This can be heard on bootleg recordings of tours promoting the album. The title track was released as the album's first single with an accompanying music video, the first Osbourne had made. A great video, by the way. In the early 1980s infancy of the music video medium, the video was highly anticipated due to his outrageous image. The decision to release the ballad So Tired as the album's second single was unpopular with many longtime fans, and you will see why. It's not a great song. The track Spiders in the Night was originally only included on the European, Australian, New Zealand and Greek releases, but was included in the 1995 CD reissue and the 2000 reissue, simply listed as Spiders. Composed by Daisley, the lyrics to the song Now You See Me, Now You Don't were a pointed rebuke aimed at Osbourne's wife and manager Sharon, who had fired him from the band in 1981. Daisley stated many years later that he was surprised the Osbourne camp allowed the lyrics on the album. Shortly after the Bark at the Moon's 1983 release, a Canadian man named James Jollymore murdered a woman and her 2 children after allegedly listening to the album. The media and Christian groups began to infer that the music was satanic and had influenced Jollymore to commit the act. The timing was particularly inopportune for Osbourne, who was, at the time, facing allegations that his song Suicide Solution had influenced a fan to commit suicide. Bark at the Moon is Osbourne's third solo album after parting ways with Black Sabbath in 1979, and his only studio album to feature drummer Tommy Aldrich, who was a fixture of his live band in the early 80s. Aldrich departed after he recorded the album and was briefly replaced by Carmine Appice, but returned mid-tour after Appice was removed by the Osbournes. When asked why Aldrich was brought back, Osbourne told Hit Parader magazine in early 1984, for health reasons, Appice, was making me sick. Nonetheless, Appice did appear in the popular music video for Bark at the Moon. The 2002 remastered edition was released in, 2002. Although this version was actually a new remix of the album, the 2002 remix version of the album was met with mixed reaction. Many elements found in the original mix are not present in this mix, namely several lead guitar parts. In addition, the song You're No Different has an alternate ending with a fade out removed, and Centre of Eternity has an altered intro segment. This edition also included the bonus tracks Spiders and One Up the B-side, originally the B-side of the Bark at the Moon single. So that's what we have. Recorded by Ozzy, Jakey Lee, Bob Daisley on bass, Tommy Aldrich on drums, Don Airey again on keyboards. Produced by Ozzy, Bob Daisley and Max Norman. So yeah, that's a lot of information, and none of that surprises me. It worries me to hear that the version that we're going to be listening to, well, it certainly has those versions, it certainly has those tracks on it. Bark at the Moon, the expanded edition, has Spiders and One Up the B-side on it, so I imagine this is the version with stuff missing. Anyway, let me go through, read the comments, see what I've missed. Ooh. Avenged Sevenfold, City of Evil. It's a great record. I really like that album. I think the song The Wicked End is fantastic. He streamed it greatly. Well, thank you very much, Adam. Not the biggest Zach fan. Fuck you, Rick. No, I kid. Zach Sabbath live in Birmingham was something phenomenal to see live. Man, I really, really wanted to go, but Birmingham was so far away. The Mojo Man. It's such a shame how Ozzy and Sharon ripped off Jakey Lee regarding the songwriting credits. Absolutely. Sharon has relentlessly treated this guy like dirt. Treated everyone like dirt. Ross is trying to work out a way to listen to both. Sorry. If I know the album, yep. See. Huge Jake fan. The Ultimate Sin is by far my favourite Ozzy album. That's interesting because that one is absolutely all credited to Jake. He wrote all of that when Ozzy was in the Betty Ford. But we'll talk about that next on the next stream. Great idea for a live stream. Awesome. Thank you very much, Rye. How's it going, man? Been a long time. Yep. Ozzy wrote the solos on Bark of the Moon. Sure did. So on the album. Yeah, highly amusing. Never really a fan of the song until I got Guitar Hero. My friend would always pick it and start to love it. It is a really good song. The guitar riff to the title track is legendary. He's always been yeah. These are sick lyrics, absolutely. Jake's a fun player, one of Ozzy's best. Waiting for Darkness, that's a great song, yeah. Waiting for Darkness is a very good song. Bark at the Moon is so good. The outro solo, yeah, wonderful. Whose credit is an awareness for finding special talent, although wasn't Jake E. Lee pure luck. I heard that they never even heard him play, picked him from a picture alone. That's amazing. Tailed Feature, how's it going, man? Recently started listening to A Beast in the Darkness, a bootleg from the Bark at the Moon tour. Ozzy sounded pretty awful, but the band's on fire. That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, you are the only person that likes the new Ozzy, Jack. DJ Jax Bryant, yeah. Don't have Spotify, otherwise I'd join in. Have the 1983 cassette of Bark at the Moon, and it had spiders on it. I didn't have So Tired on it. Did it? No, it had So Tired on it. Was that? That can't be right. It was Center of Eternity that was renamed nothing. I just literally just read this on Wikipedia. You'd think I'd remember it, right? The Ultimate Sin to be weak in comparison. I think Bark at the Moon's better than the Ultimate Sin. But I think nostalgia plays a part in all of that, though. I'd be interested for people that love the Ultimate Sin to find out when, how old they were when it came out. Right. So, one last time, this is your 60-second warning. Click the link in the description. Head on over to Spotify or, anywhere else that you want to listen to this album. Any way that you stream music, if you own it on CD, get it ready. If you have a downloaded version of it, get it on it. Get ready, right? We're going to listen to it. So get it queued up and we will hit play together. So, triple check. Desktop audio is down. Yo. Okay. Right, so Bark at the Moon, Ozzy Osbourne, 1983 is queued up. Let's hit it up. Now, before actually Bark at the Moon starts playing, I'm going to make the recommendation that everybody go and check out videos, not right now, of course, of Jake E. Lee teaching Bark at the Moon, because there's the way that Bark at the Moon is taught in all of the tab books that were released, and every guitar lesson ever. But then more recently, in the last couple of years, Jake E. Lee's done a bunch of clinics, and I'm not going to say they went viral, but these clips of him showing people how he really played Bark at the Moon, genuinely very fascinating. Very fascinating. There's a lot more going on in Jake's playing than you think, and I certainly remember stories of Jake didn't play a guitar with a tremolo, if memory serves me correctly. And Ozzy expected, Randy's replacement to use one of the wang bars, as they say. And Jake did his audition, and Ozzy was a little bit, why don't you have one of those things on your guitar? And Jake said, well, let's just play and see if you can tell the difference. And Ozzy didn't watch Jake play, but Jake did a lot of things to sort of imitate that sound and did a great job of it. So Jake is by no means a slouch on the guitar. He's in that shitty position of being the guitar player that came after Randy Rhoads, who of course is fucking Randy Rhoads, and the guitar player that came before Zakk Wylde. And love him or hate him, Zakk Wylde is one of the most iconic guitar players in rock and metal history. So definitely a difficult position to be in. Anyway, we are playing this album in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm trying to really listen and see if I can hear the things that Jake is talking about in his educational content. Killer bass playing. Very odd little keyboard part just being added at the end of some of the riffs. I'm not familiar with this mix. It's a great chorus. The composition of the song is fantastic. His playing is just... Jake's playing really is good. Very good. I don't like this mix. It sounds very strange. Some very prominent keyboard parts. No need. But this guitar solo is a great solo. Now, something I want to check. So it is single tracked, which I respect. I respect the fact that, you know, Jake didn't feel the need to imitate Randy in that respect. That panning, though, on the guitar solo is a little bit annoying. This lick at the end of the solo is a bastard. And it's even harder to hear what he's doing because of the stupid effects on the guitar. That sort of phase and panning thing. Let's double headphone it. If I were to write or release or compose a compile would be the right word, an Ozzy Osbourne best of, you know, Bark at the Moon, the song is absolutely going to be on that album. It might even be the first track on that album because it's such a good song. Compositionally, it's just a really good song. Yeah, James Taylor. Ozzy owes his career and I was going to finish it for you. Ozzy owes his career and wealth to the talent of the musicians that he has absolutely abused. Absolutely iconic outro solo, this. Oh yeah, every one of Ozzy's guitarists had their own thing, but Zach absolutely tipped his hat to what Randy did because he double tracked a lot of his solos. Okay, so Killer Song, You're No Different. Now things kind of slowed down a little bit here, and fretless bass. That snare drum sounds like absolute dog shit. All right. I don't think any of it is shit from Ozzy. It's just Sharon, isn't it? I have not seen this on Top of the Pops, and I absolutely need to. That snare drum sounds like someone farting in another room. So, you know, this is a lot of keyboards on this, and it's like, it's really absorbing that 80s, becoming that 80s thing. This is like neo-romantic, but pre. Yeah, Richard. With the last two albums that I listened to of Ozzy's and really talked about them, Bob Daisy's bass playing on them really is great because he plays the bass as its own thing. He's playing his own melodies and things. He's really adding to the music rather than just thickening the guitar parts. It may be a different mix, Ross. There are two different versions of the album. These like the modulations in the chords here, the movement between these sort of tonal centers, if you like. They're so musical, so unexpected. The idea that Ozzy Osbourne wrote these is fucking laughable. You're no different to me. Sorry. The other annoying thing, yeah, Siego makes a great point on this when he says Bark at the Moon is so good. To have it as the opening track is a ballsy fucking move because when you have to tell people what the best song is on it, what your favourite song is on this album, what you think the best song is, well, obviously Bark at the Moon is. Obviously. It's like, what's your favourite song apart from Bark at the Moon? Spoilers, my answer is Slow Down. That's a great song. Different to me, yeah. I have to say, too much keyboard for my liking. No one skips Slow Down. Fuck off, Tailed. Skip this stream. Yeah, so like that's just as a song, I find that a rather unremarkable song, unremarkable guitar playing. Like, there's nothing on there that's great. I'm really not crazy on the drum mix on this. In particular, that snare. Overbearing Woman. Oh, of course. Yeah. So this is about Sharon. Overbearing woman making sound. That out for all to see. Of course, this is about Sharon. Ah! This is why I always come and go. Literally a lyric written by a man who keeps going into and leaving the band. I like the riff there. Da 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 da. That syncopation on it. Proper blues rock there. Okay, so I'm listening for the keyboard part in the verses. Let me have a real listen to that. Oh, hello. I don't remember that being that loud on the mix that I listened to growing up. But yeah, that was obnoxious. Who thought that was a good idea? That's dreadful. Way too much keyboard on this album. Now you see it, now you don't. That keyboard is just fucking obnoxious. So going back to the last, what we've been doing with this, Blizzard of Oz, I've always loved Blizzard of Oz, but after doing that real deep dive on those two albums, I just really decided that Diary of a Madman is a far superior album from every conceivable angle. And I've always, in my mind, held this album in very high regard. It's dropping significantly in my estimation. Significantly. Cool guitar playing there. Now you don't. Now you see it, now you don't. Now you see it, now you don't. Quite long songs as well. Bark at the Moon's nice and short, but You're No Different is 5 minutes long. Now You See It, Now You Don't, 5 minutes long. Rock and Roll Rebel, 5.5. Center of Eternity, 5.5. Yep, agreed with your tailed. That keyboard. Whew. Making me forget my fear of hell. Diary's more focused. Diary is they steer into the gothic side of Ozzy's image. Blizzard's got too many bluesy moments on it, whereas Diary is consistent. Every song on it is good and fits in with the theme that they were painting. There we go. There we go. Pete's proved my point. I wanted to know how old he was when he listened to The Ultimate Sin. And he said it was his first Ozzy album. So you're always going to hold that in like a high regard. What's that? Oh, these vocals are dreadful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why? Oh, this is all being ruined. I now regret doing this stream. Okay, Rock and Roll Rebel. Oh, you get the chromatic part in the riff here. Sure, I remember there being a chromatic part at the end of this riff. No. Ozzy's vocals sound great. The bass sounds great. I don't think the drums sound fantastic. I think the guitars are a little buried. Need a little bit more low end. Keyboards. Because the rock and roll rebel. See, I feel that this Listening to the bass in this, I feel that Jake probably wrote this because Bob Daisley very rarely just plays the same thing as guitar, but that's what he did in that entire chorus section, and it's not really what I expect out of Bob. That riff there, that's a little bit more Bob Daisley. I'm listening to this, like you can. I think maybe we listen to this and we think of Jake E. Lee, and you think Bark at the Moon, where he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing on that. But we've listened to 3 more tracks, and nothing's been exceptional. And he's following in the footsteps of Randy Rhoads at this point. So there's a big shoes to fill. I think the bass sounds great, though. Genuinely do think the bass sounds really good on this. Ozzy would totally go, you know what this song needs? Why don't we modulate for the guitar solo? Fuck off, Sharon. You know it rolls your head. Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, no, I see what you. I agree with you. I know what you're saying. It's a cool lick. I don't know if I'd agree that Zach is classical metal though, because I don't think Zach has a lot of classical influence in what he does. And if he does, it's secondhand classical. You know, it's learning Randy stuff. And again, comparing this to Diary, that had just was the previous album, 3 songs after Bark at the Moon. None of these are gonna ever be on an Ozzy best of. Not a chance. I don't think Brad had enough to carry an Ozzy album. I mean, he would have done fine. Credit where credit's due. Jake's definitely got a voice. He's definitely like, there's a style to his playing. Richard, we're going on to Center of Eternity, and Richard said this is his second favourite. There's a cool riff in that chorus, actually. Okay. Was he treated like shit by Ozzy? I mean, I've never really looked into the stories of it. The thing I found really interesting about doing all these streams is just seeing how many people they don't like Zach. I love Zach. "40 seconds into the song, still no music." I mean, No, you're not supposed to hear any music. Big old epic keyboards. Oh, classic metal, yeah. Don Airy trying to recapture the magic of Crowley there. Is this a cool riff? Feel that it could do with a little bit more low end in the guitar, but I'll let it go. A vocal harmony. This is a good tune. The chanting's been the best part since track one. I agree with you. Arrive eternity. It goes high in the next chorus. Eternity. That's a really good observation. Yeah, that's got a lot of Priest. That could totally be a Judas Priest riff. Have a good night, Pete. Oh, sorry, Tailed. I thought you were talking about Jake. But no, I'll look into that. I've never liked George Lynch's playing. I think this is a good song. Vocal harmony on this? On Long, Long Time, is that right? No? Okay. Super cool. No, George, not a fucking chance that George Lynch wrote the Flying High Again solo. Oh, yeah, that key change in the middle of the guitar solo. Oh, that's an Ozzy thing to write, isn't it? Don't know why the guitar pan's left there. It's a great tune. Very rock though, you know. Bark at the Moon is dark. It's definitely like an 80s metal tune. I think this is a little bit punky. Nope, don't believe you, Taylor. Sorry. Prove it. The theme is just a little lost on the album. Like I say, oh, that's a great lick. This is rock, and the first track was very metal. The middle ones are all balladies. Again, Diary of a Madman is. Oh no! George Lynch tried to take credit for something. Well, it must be true then. I guess all those tunes that Miles Davis tells people that he wrote are really his tunes too. Yeah, there's some cool licks on that. I like the tune. So tired. This is kind of how I'm feeling at this stage of this album. What is this doing here? Nice cello part. So Ozzy's had a long history of ballads. This is making me cry. No. Why have I done this? Before today, I loved this album. So tired, so tired. So tired. And the annoying part is we are moving on. When we go to the next song, it's my second favorite song on the album. No, Randy documented that he didn't want to be with Ozzy. I even read some accounts that I know there was a lot of heat between Randy and the Ozzy management side of things, because Ozzy was due to do what went on to be Speak of the Devil, right, which is the Sabbath covers live album. Randy was supposed to do that live album and he refused. He said, I'm at a point in my career where I'm not going out and playing covers for a living, and I don't want to be known for that, and I don't like Sabbath's music, and I don't want to do that. So I know that Ozzy was hurt by that. I have read accounts that he punched Randy in the face. I've certainly read multiple accounts of that, but then I've also had people that said, well, knowing Randy, you know, I don't believe that was the case. He would have mentioned it, type thing. This song can get right in the fucking bin. Ah. I mean, Jake did a great job there, but he's playing a cool guitar solo on a bad song. I have to wonder how much input Ozzy had into the ballads, because they're very Beatlesy and Ozzy is very influenced by them. I know Elliot, so for him to be credited as the sole songwriter on this, he's credited as the guy that wrote the lyrics and the music. But I am going to see it through. Ozzy just wants to be Paul McCartney. People keep making him do metal. This song is a fucking turd. I can't believe I've done this. I now hate Bark at the Moon. Okay, honestly, Slow Down is my second favourite track on this album. I love this. The chorus is really good on this. I love it already. Harmonics. I lost my headphones. No. Great chords. Keyboard's a bit over the top. I'm with you. Little melodies in the bass. Very cool. This chorus. I love it. Slow down. Vocal harmonies on it. Beautiful. On that, yeah. Playing this would be awesome. Slow down. Slow down. I would love to cover this song. Ozzy plays a mean violin. It's the way he connects the chord to. Beautiful. Slow down. The key part. Love it. Honestly, I think because Bark at the Moon is so good and I love this song so much, I think there's potential that I love Bark at the Moon and then I eventually get to this song and I love it so much that it makes me forget everything that came before it. I'm going to be putting some more effort into Ozzy covers soon, Tailed, but it's going to be Zach stuff. I've not got the chops to play like this anymore. That's a cool solo. But I'd say the riff that he's playing now is cooler than any of the lead guitar stuff. I think Jakey Lee is a better rhythm guitar player than he is a lead guitar player, and it's like Eddie Van Halen. You know, that doesn't. I say that about Eddie. It doesn't mean that Eddie's a bad lead guitar player, but his rhythm guitar playing is so good. Keyboard part maybe a little bit over the top. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. I'm glad we agree. That is a great song. They're Waiting for Darkness Against a slow one, so. And we're saying this would have originally been the last song on the album, I think. Cool little rhythm guitar part there, the double ping. I have to say, Diary of a Madman, Blizzard of Oz, Bark at the Moon. I hope that when I do The Ultimate Sin that I remember it more fondly than this. Eddie's one of the greatest rock rhythm players of all time. Love it. There's just too much fucking keyboard on this album, isn't there? Was that popular at the time? Clean guitars. Well, chorused guitars. That's a cool riff there. The fourths. That violin. Why are those strings doing that? Okay, so we're getting someone that's saying this is their favourite song aside from Bark at the Moon. I think it's a mixed thing, Matthew. I agree. This song didn't need to be 5 minutes and 18 seconds long. So that would be where the album originally ended. These next two tracks are bonus European tracks. Nice. That's a cool riff. I like that riff. That's a good riff. Thanks for tuning in, Tiago Guitarist. The guitar riff is cool. These like the atmospheric parts in the background are kind of cool. I like this. Now I remember the song One Up the B-side. I'm quite liking that. Benjamin, yes, I will be doing these with other artists. Don't worry. It's definitely, the mix of this track is definitely not one that was meant for the album. Yeah, I talked about that LEO in my Blizzard of Oz history video. I'm going back to my youth where I just wanted to be Zakk Wylde. That keyboard part is so fucking cheesy. It's a fretless bass too, isn't it? Yeah. Oh. Ooh. I don't know about that, James. I agree that the songs aren't great, but I think writing a rock song like Slow Down is so much easier than writing something like So Tired, where there's a lot more going on. There's more arrangements going on. There's string sections in the song. There's all of this stuff that you have to do. You have to prep people to make sure everything is going to go to plan. And that takes time. I think songs like Slow Down were actually probably written very quickly. And if anything, they probably wrote all the shit songs for this before they went to the studio. Pete, we are on Spiders. The final song tailed is called One Up the B-Side. I'll bring it up on screen so you can see it. One Up the B-Side. It was a bonus track on the 2002 release, I believe. And it's not a bad song. This little falsetto vocal harmony there was kind of cool. I like that. I'm genuinely quite devastated about this experience. One Up the B-Side will absolutely be on YouTube, man. You'll find it there. One Up the B-Side. Very strange song, but I like it. Colin Moriarty doing that vocal there. Too high for me. This could have been on the album. Cut, You're No Different. This would be better. Slide guitar. Woo! Finding out you're bad, Dad is bad. I can't believe there's slide guitar in this. One Up the B-Side. One Up the B-Side. Well, Elliot, now I've started doing the Ozzy albums. I've got to get through all of them, haven't I? I don't know if it's in drop D. Ready slider. Cool guitar playing. Yeah, that's got to be drop D. Hearing it, yeah. No, you're totally right. It's not amazing. I remember this album so fondly, and it's been ruined for me. No. Wanna be beside. I do like the chorus though, so. Wanna be beside. There we go. That's it. Yeah. So, in summary, how do I feel about this album? I remember this album extremely fondly, and I listened to this album a lot when I was younger. But honestly, evidently, I think "Bark at the Moon" and "Slow Down" were the two things that I really, really remembered from the album. Um, I honestly feel that that was a very, very weak album. And sure, "Bark at the Moon" itself is so good that it's good enough to be on any Ozzy Osbourne best of. "Slow Down," it depends, I guess, how long the best of album would be. If it was a 2-disc best of, I'm putting "Slow Down" on there. Center of Eternity is a good song, don't get me wrong, but I think that the vocal melody is just a bit. And then you have this really odd. It's a bit. It's just like they fight each other a bit much. The melody and the way the riff works. So I couldn't honestly say that Center of Eternity would be one that I would list as being a track that I would put on a best of. But honestly, Slow Down. That keyboard part. Sorry for my dreadful singing. I like that song. I do like that song a lot. And "Bark at the Moon," still, yeah, absolutely excellent. One at the B-side, not a chance. "Spiders," no. "Waiting for Darkness." It's got atmosphere, but no. It's not enough metal, not enough rock. "So Tired" is probably the worst song on the album. "Rock and Roll Rebels," alright. It's a rock song, but it's not the best. "Now You See Me, Now You Don't." I really enjoyed the lyrics on that. Sort of getting the inside perspective of it being Bob Daisley writing about Sharon Osbourne. Get that? Overbearing woman. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's interesting to hear that, but still don't think it's the best song. And then "You're No Different." Not the best either. So here's a great question. So is this better or worse than "Ordinary Man"? Well, James, it's definitely better than "Ordinary Man." Definitely better than "Ordinary Man." "Ordinary Man" is not going to have a song that will ever feature on an Ozzy best of album. This has "Bark at the Moon" on it, so in my mind, it was a better album than it turned out that it is, which is very, very strange. Very strange. Very strange. Oh, here's a fun revelation as well. So at the end of the last stream, I was talking about the bonus track that was on both Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. The versions of those albums that I grew up listening to were the 2002 remasters with Mike Borden on drums and Robert Trujillo on bass, which I think is why when I've been doing all my research for this, the videos and all the Aussie talk that I've been doing recently, hearing like Bob Daisley playing bass on that and Lee Kerslake playing drums on that has been so exciting because it sounds there's just some energy about it, and I really have enjoyed that. So that was impact. I put my hands up and tell you guys that because I was mortified when I went in the house, absolutely mortified. Yeah. So cool. Those keys got in the way. Totally agree with that. I don't think that there was any need for half as many the key parts on this album. Yeah, when you sorry, let me try that again. When you compare this with what else came out that year, it's pretty disappointing. That's a really good point. Let's take a look at that. 1983, is that not Metallica's first album? Kill 'Em All, 1983, maybe? Yeah, Kill 'Em All is 1983. Dio's Holy Diver is 1983. Shout at the Devil is 1983. Maiden, Peace of Mind. Pyromania, Def Leppard. Show No Mercy by Slayer. This is you know, there's a lot of proper metal coming out in this time. Things that we look back on now and we think of as being iconic metal things. Kiss, Lick It Up. I like Kiss. You know, I get a lot of shit for that, but I genuinely do really like Kiss. So, Pantera's Metal Magic came out in 1983. Well, let's have a look. Rock albums, 93. ZZ Top's Eliminator came out in 1983. That is a better album than this album by any definition of the word. That is a much better album than this. That's one of my favourite rock albums ever. It's coming out. Billy Idol's Rebel Yell. That's a really interesting point. There was quite a few good albums that came out in 1983, and to me, this was always one of them. But I kind of changed my mind. I think Bark at the Moon sucks. Wow. I kind of like this. I like that I'm having my own opinions changed because I'm really listening. That's been a lot of fun. Wow. So thank you very much for that, guys. Like I say, I'm a little bit disappointed because I held this album in a lot of... I held very fond memories of this album, and a lot of that has disappeared now. But I think that's good. I think going back and listening to things that you listened to when you were younger and like changing the way that you view them is definitely really interesting. You're a madman, Tail. Just wait till we get around to listening to No More Tears, and I'll make a song and dance about loads of the songs on that album. I really love that album. Here's another aside. I'm thinking of doing a video on cheap shit Chinese guitars. I'm thinking of ordering a knockoff Gibson Zakk Wild Les Paul, so I can bring it in and see just how fucking bad it is. Obviously, that would be what I would use to do some No More Tears videos on. Yeah. When is the next one? I'm genuinely not sure about that, mate. Genuinely not sure about that. This was a spontaneous thing. I tend to do these rather spontaneously when I've got some time. So I'll do my best to keep people posted. In fact, because I know you want to watch it, I'll send you a WhatsApp and let you know when I'm thinking of doing it. But yeah, right. So that's going to be me, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Let me just say a huge thank you to my supporters over on Patreon. You keep this channel what it is. You stop me from having to, suck on that corporate dong, as it were. There are lots of companies out there that want to pay you money to say, go and buy Raid Shadow Legends, but don't go and buy Raid Shadow Legends. My channel isn't for sale. My channel is funded by you guys, and I really do support that. I do appreciate your support. So if you would like to check me out on Patreon, there is a link in the description. You can also, there's a join button down here somewhere now next to my subscribe button. It's another way to support the channel. If you don't want to do that, of course, these videos will remain free for everybody. You can also check out my books on Amazon, though. It is a great way to support me and get something in return. So have a look for Levi Clay on Amazon now, and you will find some of my works. And my latest one, 100 slide licks for blues guitar. Check it out. You may find something you'll enjoy. You should. You will find something you enjoy. Look at that beautiful blue slide on the cover. Look at it. Just look at it. Ooh, isn't it pretty? Yeah, so let me get rid of that. And of course, please do go and check out my friends over at VPix because I love what they do and they deserve a little bit more. Right, any final comments? Corona, thanks. You are welcome, Matthew. Oh, so long, as in so long. Goodbye. Even my dog hates Ordinary Man. Thanks for tuning in, Shane. I really appreciate it. You're welcome, Tailed. Anytime, brother. Yeah. Awesome. Right, guys. I'm going to go and get some food and play some Outer Worlds and spend some time with my dogs. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you for another stream soon. Oh, Guitar Soul's going up soon as well, so goodbye.